What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hello.
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 Hello, mate. And this is another episode of the FilmBros podcast.
Gross. That was the grossest impression ever. Sorry for doing it. I just wanted to try it.
Was that not a good, British impression?
Well, no, it was good. It just sounded very disgusting. You know
I wonder
what I mean?
if, British people be mocking us, huh?
I'm pretty sure.
They'd be mocking American accents.
It's like, hey, Phil, let's go get a gun or something. Like, you know what I mean?
They're probably like, oh, dude, let's hit the tide and
oh, righteous.
shoot bullets in the air.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they would get a gun, though. They don't have guns over there.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Let's throw knives in the air.
That's why they talk about it, because they're just like,
They're like, what's a gun?
Yeah, all we got is these blades. I'm telling you, they like swordsmiths out there.
Probably,
Yeah, but they be bringing swords to a gunfight. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's a good way to die.
Yeah, not so very good. But some good, but I will keep on saying every single day until this strike is over, until I see these people out there, is why the fuck are people coming out and saying things? And, and when I say people, I mean actors, okay? And when I say the strike, it's because of the Actors Guild strike that is going on, plus the Writers Guild strike that is happening. Was happening way before the actors went on strike. Will Smith comes out and talks about it, but in our last episode, Bryan Cranston was out there speaking. We've seen a few other actors speaking about it out there at the picket lines.
Yeah.
But Will Smith decides to go ahead and do a little paragraph on Instagram, and I'm gonna read it. It's not too big, but I'm gonna give you my thoughts afterwards, okay? He says, I want to talk for a second about acting. For some of y'all might have heard, my guild are on strike along with my writer colleagues in the WGA. It's a pivotal moment for our profession, 33 years into my career as an actor, and there are still some days when I feel like I'm that kid from Philly who's on borrowed time. Even though I know I've been extraordinarily blessed and lucky to have worked as an actor all this time. It's thanks to my friend, my teacher, and my mentor, Aaron Pieser, whom I fondly refer to as Coach, that those days when I feel like I don't belong are fewer and further between. And then he goes on to congratulate his coach. You guys can see the full post on his Instagram. But kind of touched up on the strike. He says that he's going to be coaching these. That's why there's a picture right there. He's going to be coaching these upcoming actors, next generation, he says. He didn't even say anything that will remotely help the strike. He just acknowledged that it was happening, right? And to me, like I said it before, I'm going to say it again. These actors got to be out there. As much as these companies need to be paying, as Josh says, paying your people.
That's not how I said
it should be that these people should be out there picketing, fighting, saying words of encouragement on a microphone. I think just today, Tatiana Maslany, the lead actress of She-Hulk, she literally called out Bob Iger himself. And it's like, and she's out there on the picket line. Why isn't Will Smith, Ben Affleck, I as much as I love the dude, he's not even out there either. Tom Cruise, not out there. Dwayne Johnson, not out there. We have all these people, going at it while these people are in the luxury of their own homes. I understand not everybody's built for picketing. If there was maybe 3 of them, you could deal with a couple actors who are just refusing to do it. But a whole group of them that are just, nah, we're not going to picket. Nah, we're good. Don't worry about it. Isn't that kind of, you should be out there.
Yeah. It would make sense for them to be out there, but I want to know why. I'm very curious. None of them have said why, and again, it's probably a publicity thing. They know if they're out there, their thing is going to take a hit. Why Will Smith cares about his reputation after the slap, I don't know. He kind of tarnished it regardless, And I think before that, he was revered as an A-list actor. So if he was pre-slap, this would have been very beneficial for him to come out and help, especially if he was the dude coming from Philly. Homie had a whole TV show when he was young as hell. Like I imagine the shit he went through back then was probably worse.
I'd argue it was before pre-slap. I think everything really just started going a little bit more downhill for him when that whole what was it, entanglement talk was happening, and I think that's when like his career.
Well, no,
took a hit.
I don't think so. I think he was still put like an A-list actor.
No, because after that, he kind of when he started becoming a meme on the internet and all that, I think he kind of started dying down, is getting a little watered down, and especially with what was that one movie that came out, the one where he like was a younger him, Gemini Man. When that one came out too, that one was like on his downward spiral. So I mean, I've always said that he could always bounce back, so it's not really like a huge big deal. I mean, hopefully he's teaching these kids how to fake slap somebody and not really actually slap them in the face. But I would say that he should be out there. He should 110% be out there, be picketing with these people, should be calling these CEOs out by name, because there is some people that are out there with the balls to do it, like Tatiana Maslany, like Bryan Cranston. He did that. Like, there's people with the balls to do it, and maybe that's hurting their reputation, but would it really hurt their reputation so bad is if everybody was doing it? Like, what if Tatiana Maslany, who's not that big of a name, is right there saying the same thing right next to Dwayne Johnson? Wouldn't that be 100% better? It would be.
Well, yeah, but again, I'd imagine, again, this is assuming Hollywood works this way, which, I mean, we've kind of seen it before, but actors get blacklisted for small things, like who knows, what was that one we watched, like you brought it up in the other episode, where she was talking about Babylon or whatever, the sexual assault on the Babylon.
Yeah.
Like, what if her saying that, like, put her on a list? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know for sure. We don't know, like, the behind the closed doors type shit.
The people behind closed doors.
They're like,
number 11.
Rat. No, but like, like who knows what that could do for their thing long term. So maybe that's what they're thinking. They're like, oh, if I go out there, I'm basically putting my shit on the line. And The Rock has tons of shows. He has the one where with the Young Rock, whatever, the wannabe American Ninja Warrior one. Like he has a bunch. And like, imagine what him being out there, like, for the actor standpoint, he should be out there, but imagine him selfishly thinking, like, I don't want that taken away. Like, they're not going to want to do that if it means risking their cash.
Yeah.
Because The Rock could never act again, but he still has those shows on, like, NBC or whatever.
Well, that one already. The Little Rock?
No, I mean, like, the competition one I just mentioned.
Oh, yeah. The XFL or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, A-list stars have a lot to fall back on, so maybe they don't really have to necessarily be out there right now, but eventually the well's going to dry up, and at that point, that's when they're going to go out there, and then you're going to start seeing who had more money, right? It's because eventually you're going to see them start picketing and pushing a little bit harder before their money runs out and their status kind of drips.
It's crazy, because imagine that, right? Do you remember what DJ Khaled looked like during COVID? He couldn't get his routine done, so he looked a little older than he was necessarily supposed to be. Do you remember those? Era?
I remember that, but he was always on my feed. I just kind of skimmed through. At one point, I did see him a little dirty, but then he really was like blessings, and somehow he got better.
That's what I don't know why, but that's what I imagine these actors will be like if this comes out long enough. Like, you're gonna see him with beards and stuff. They're gonna just be like, "It is what it is."
I guess it is what it is, but I think this is going to just be a whole new segment on this podcast. We're just going to completely bash all the actors who come out and talk but are not on the picket lines.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I honestly believe they should be out there in the picket lines. If this is your guild, if you're a part of this guild and you're an A-list actor who is completely avoiding it because, I have the money, or, I don't really need to be out there, or, whatever, you're not helping the littler people, I think the only person, and I will be fair, who probably bought their way out of it was The Rock. I think he was the only one. I mean, he written an unknown check. They don't even want to disclose how much he gave them, and he didn't either. They said it was 7 figures.
Yeah.
My boy put in some money.
He put in money to feed them.
I understand it's chump change. It would be better and a better gesture if he was out there, but I think he's the only one I could say kind of bought himself out of it.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that was kind of like a Weasley thing.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to stay up to date and, make sure you guys hear all the people we call out and all the actors that don't go out and pick it, make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, FilmBros Podcasts. Keep you up to date. Well, new episodes are going to be posted on there, so you guys never miss one and you guys never get to hear these rants, right? And if you guys want to support us in a big way, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Buzzsprout. You can subscribe there. Links are in the bios that he just gave you. You get special perks and shout outs and things like that made for subscribers only. So we recognize you and you help us out. It'll be nice.
Yeah. But moving on though, of course, Sony wants us to help them out with their Gran Turismo movie.
That's not happening.
Oh shit. You didn't even let me get through the topic.
I'm not. We know what this is. This is going around. Basically, Sony says they can't promote the movie, the Gran Turismo one, the one based on a real dude. What do you call it? So they want us to do it. And then they pushed it back to 2024. Does that cover most of it?
No. Close. Almost had it. Dates were wrong. They only pushed it about 2 weeks back. So instead of coming out the beginning of August, I believe it was August 11th, it's coming out now August 25th.
Oh, okay.
They already had their initial premiere screenings because it was supposed to be ramping up for release.
Yeah.
So a lot of people seen it already, and so Sony's very how do they say, they're very confident about this movie, saying that they're getting nothing but positive praises, and that's why they're saying that basically that the stars can't promote the film but the audience can, and doubling down saying that they've been getting positive test screenings, so they assume that the fans,
word of mouth, will
basically propel this movie. And I tell you right now, that's probably not gonna happen. I mean, I'm sorry. I know this is I'm not gonna lie. It looks good, in my opinion, but I'm not gonna take a chance on a video game adaptation again. It's been so many times where I've been let down. Uncharted was actually the first one I completely just was like, I'm not gonna deal with this one. I'm not gonna watch it at all. And then I wound up watching it on Netflix, and it wound up being terrible. So I just say video game adaptations, if they are gonna wow me, they're gonna wow me on streaming, and then if you can really draw me in, I'll go ahead and go to the next one.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. And I told you when we saw this trailer in theaters, because they played it before Across the Spider-Verse. To me, it's I don't care for it. I don't really like racing games, I guess. I'll play them, but they're not my favorite thing. And then this one's not even, it's based on the game, but it's also based on the dude who played the games and then just turned into a real racer. The story is nice. The story sounds nice, but I still don't care.
I think it's worth the watch, but on streaming. Maybe, did you watch Need for Speed?
No, it's Need for Speed.
Did you kind of like that one? Cool. See, and I enjoyed that one too. And then a couple other video game adaptations. I still haven't seen Assassin's Creed. I gotta watch that one. I heard it's bad, but I think
Fassbender.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Michael Fassbender. I'm assuming he put a hell of a performance. I'm just thinking it wasn't
wasn't panned well because the fans probably expected something else.
Exactly. So me not having played those games, if I go watch it, I'd probably be a little bit more interested. But me have played Uncharted and then knowing damn well that they're not even going by the story, that shit does bother me.
That was bad. Uncharted was just terrible.
Yeah, I don't even know why they thought Tom Holland would be Nathan Drake. That shit was crazy.
Because he was coming hot off of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. Publicity. That was the only
Mark
reason.
Wahlberg as Sully. Come on, dog. Sully would have. That's a whole different thing. But Sony fumbled the bag with that one. This one, I mean, as much as people want to say it's good and whatnot, I mean, this one's probably one that's gonna, regardless of anything, gonna have to eat it because video game adaptations are not always 100%, and I'm probably just gonna wait for streaming for sure.
Honestly, yeah. And even taking in most gaming adaptations now are apparently getting it right. You had Sonic, Mario, the rare cases. Detective Pikachu did really well.
It did. Still waiting on the sequel.
And
I don't even like Pokemon. That's just crazy.
I think that's crazy though. Yeah, because most people don't like Pokemon, but they know what Pikachu is, and it's enough to invest them into this world, and that's how you create new fans.
Yeah.
Personally, I never watched it. I tried, but oh man, that shit is longer than Naruto, and I'm just I don't really care.
But you liked the movie.
The movie was good.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu was
very
good.
Yeah. So yeah, Sony. I don't know about this one. I mean, very good, but not very good. Hopefully you guys get a good ticket out of it. If not, then we're probably gonna see it in about 2 weeks on streaming. Anyways, they really gotta fix that shit. Yeah. They really gotta fix that shit. I mean, it's good for us, but it has to be kind of damning for them and damaging. 100%. Pulling it from the box office for streaming.
Well, yeah, because I mean, streaming does well enough. I think The Flash is doing really good on streaming too.
On digital, they bought it. The people are actually buying it on digital.
Yeah, and like it's doing good there, like on VOD or whatever, Voodoo, whatever the fuck the thing is called. So like, it'll get traction on streaming if it doesn't do good in box office. That's probably why they pull it so early.
I've been seeing a lot of people being like, "Oh yeah, everybody did want to go see The Flash, but it just wasn't worth going to see."
You'd rather pay $20? Not even a new movie costs way more than that. Like almost $30 for a movie, and then why didn't you just spend that much in theaters?
Instead of taking they probably wanted to take their family or their brothers or whatever, sisters, blah 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 blah. Instead of paying $7 per person and $30 for snacks.
Yeah, no.
Rather just pay the $30 for the movie and just get your own snacks at home.
Basically.
So
I don't know. I'm waiting for Max to pick it up so I can do a whole rewatch now that the DCU is actually over.
You're gonna do a rewatch?
Well, I'm gonna do.
He just wants to see Keaton get nuts.
No, I'm gonna do the whole DCU at some point.
Oh, the whole thing. Justice League?
No,
you have to.
No,
that's the DCU canon. No. Yeah, no. You're gonna have to.
No,
Josh.
No.
Yeah,
I'm never watching that movie.
You're gonna have to.
I've seen it too many times that
it's
I'd
canon.
like to.
It's canon.
So, it can suck my dick. I don't really give a him and Joss Whedon. I don't really it's not good. I'd rather watch Peak and then
you don't want to see Cyborg say booyah?
No.
Oh.
Why would I give two fucks about that? I know it was cool in the cartoon and they made it fluid, but we won. Booyah. That's fucking stupid, dude. What the fuck, man? I could bash that movie for hours. But yeah, Gran Turismo probably not doing too hot. Yeah. But tell your friends. Sony needs you to market it, apparently.
Yeah. Hopefully there is a fan base for this movie. I haven't really been hearing a lot of rumblings at all about this one. I think this one has little hype.
Yeah, no. It's racing, and does Sony even own Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
I thought that was an Xbox thing.
No, it's their game.
Oh, that's Forza. I'm thinking of Forza.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, two different things.
That's their Gran Turismo is there, so.
Yeah, no. I don't think people care about this franchise.
Nope. I'm good.
Can't even remember the last time a Forza game came out. I mean, Forza, Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo? It came out not so long ago. There was a new one not so long ago.
I don't know.
I think it's on the PlayStation Store.
Oh.
Yeah. It is what it is. Moving on, though, we wound up getting word that... All right, so a couple episodes ago...
We covered this, too.
Yeah, we covered this. A couple episodes ago, we wound up talking about how Justin Seaman basically came out, or Simon, whatever his name. I'm sorry, dude.
Justin Seaman.
He basically came out, wondering, "Hey, yo, what the hell's going on with that Lando series that I was attached to?" Basically saying that the last time he spoke about it was back in 2020 when they announced it. He hasn't heard any rumblings. Well, right now he is directing a ship. It's called the Haunted Mansion. I've heard good things about it. It's out right now. Go check it out. I'm probably going to make a trip to give it a watch as well. Apparently, he's not even attached to this show anymore. Justin Simon, he was like, "Oh, I haven't heard nothing." Well, you haven't been a part of the conversation for so long.
They kicked you out, apparently, yeah.
Apparently, and I don't know if he knew about it, he didn't know about it, but this is coming from above the line. They basically reported this first, saying that Donald Glover and his brother, Stephen Glover, will now be writing for Lando on Disney+. This wound up happening before the whole strike happened. They wound up finalizing the deal. So I think they said that he was working on it about 2-3 weeks before the strike actually went into full effect. Maybe even sooner. Who knows? He probably been working on it a little bit longer than that.
There you go.
But we're getting traction on it. I personally, if you guys seen Atlanta, you guys know that Donald Glover can write. and he's a good actor, and he can do the character's justice if necessary. And I love them in Solo. I can think of nobody else better to go ahead and. Plus, he made that song. This is America. Don't country tripping. Don't. Yeah, might as well.
Okay. This follows my timeline then, because I told you that Simon or Seaman, whatever the fuck his name is, what do you call it? When he said that basically was unconfirming what Childish Gambino said. But a few months prior, he was on that carpet. They asked him, and like I said, he was doing music. He says he has music cooking, and that the show is happening. Mm-hmm. They asked him about Lando, so that follows my timeline. I knew what Simon said had to be bullshit.
Yeah,
and what do you call it? So this is great news. Obviously, yeah, I loved him in Solo too. Honestly, really good casting on Disney's part. I just hope we also get the dude that played Han Solo back.
Yeah,
like I hope to see them two fucking shit up.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I think he did a great Han Solo, younger Han Solo, and I think he matches Lando great. Him writing the story, I said he has the chops. I know Justin Simon or Seaman, whatever. I know he works pretty good too, but I really can't think of anybody else writing for him besides the character himself, who's going to be portraying him. And here's what it kind of got me. So Simon basically shared the news on Instagram saying that Donald is a national treasure. Glad he and Steven get to carry the character forward their way. Can't wait to see. Rooting for everybody black.
What?
I don't know. That was the end of his quote.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I don't know why you put that at the end. It literally says that right there. I was
Can't
like,
make this shit up.
I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay.
I guess. I mean,
I mean,
at least he's good. At least he's happy for the blacks. Like, I don't know what that means. It's probably a typo, and then he just never thought to fix it.
I hope so.
I'm glad that everyone's back, and then he just put black. Stupid.
Yeah, nobody.
Autocorrect wasn't your friend there. What the fuck? That's funny.
Rooting for everybody's back. I don't know. They put an L in there. I don't. I'm trying to figure out how he could have fucked it up, but very good for Donald Glover. He got some more work. I know Atlanta came to an end already. I know he's doing his music. How he did say, if he can get multiple seasons of this show, that'd be great for him. Yeah.
Well, he does that. He has that, and then I think they also confirmed him to be in that Community movie from his show.
Yeah, he wanted to.
He signed on there too.
But
so he has a lot of good stuff.
But he was so iffy about it because I think he thought Atlanta was getting another season.
Really?
When they first announced that he was gonna be when they first announced the Community revival, or
it's a movie.
It's a movie, right?
Yeah.
The reunion, whatever. Everybody signed on immediately, and then except for two people, it was Donald Glover and somebody else. But I know that person got basically fired from the show, so they didn't. They're not bringing him back.
Che, what's his name?
Yeah.
Che.
They're not bringing him back. But Donald Glover, I guess he was kind of iffy about it. He didn't know if he was gonna sign on. A lot of people were thinking it was money related. I personally think it was probably going to collide with Atlanta, and he was just going to be like, no, this is my baby. I'm going to stay here kind of thing. I know that the Community gave me my jump start, but...
He did a lot of good shit with Atlanta. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it is.
I recommend that.
100%.
I thought he wouldn't have... I thought he would be iffy about it because of Che, and I think there's literal confirmings out there where that actor called him the N-word multiple times off set or whatever. So that would kind of... So that would kind of throw me off too. I wouldn't want to work with him. This dude is openly racist to me,
Yeah.
But if he's back and Che isn't, I guess that's fine. I don't really care. I never really watched this show. I've seen a couple episodes from Netflix, but I mean, if you're excited for the movie, good for you. Never saw the show. Did you see the show, Community?
Nah. I know about it. I heard about all the shit that was happening. I was trying to get into it, but I don't know what it was.
The comedy for me just wasn't there.
I don't think it was my kind of comedy.
No.
I think it was white people comedy.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't for me though. But yeah, Lando show. That sounds fucking exciting. Thank God.
Good.
Thank God it's finally coming into fruition. That's sick.
All right.
His Lando was perfect.
You done? Can I go now?
No. Lando. No,
Lando's my guy. Moving on though, if you guys had any questions, okay, any questions pertaining about Secret Invasion or anything like that, because we all know that show left us dumbfounded. Okay, now if you guys haven't seen the show yet, this topic might be a little spoilerish, and if you guys haven't seen the finale, this is gonna be even more spoilerish. So this might be a spoiler section. If you guys don't want to get it spoiled for you guys, go ahead, go watch the show, come back, save this episode. We'll be here when you get back.
Obviously.
Last warning. So the director wound up coming out, answering a few questions for Variety. I'm only gonna pick out the good questions that Variety asked them, and that's basically it, because there's a few questions and a few things in this article that he addresses, and it kind of gives you an insight on what they were trying to go for, and then what I'm assuming what happened behind the scenes, financially wise, with Fahy and Bob Chapek at the time, and that basically caused the show to end up where it was. Because let's be honest, the last episode was a fucking shit show.
Yeah,
that shit is
so goddamn train wreck.
That shit was so bad, and they did some dumb shit in that episode.
Like if a train smashed into a nuclear plant, and that nuclear plant happened to be
Godzilla.
Like if that nuclear plant was above hell and then it managed to explode, that's kind of how to describe that episode.
Managed to explode. If it's above hell, wouldn't hell make it explode? Because it's hell.
Well, no, because it's like very above it,
like hell's
like
deep.
Layers.
Oh.
It's hell, earth, and then heaven. That's what I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was a shit show, and it was very that bad. I don't know. I'm trying to understand I'm trying to understand what he said, but it is that bad. If that analogy is bad, it's that bad. I'll tell you that. So he was basically asked by Variety, and these are Variety's questions, so I'll try to make it as known as possible. So Variety asked, now that the series finale has aired, how would you describe Secret Invasion's overall message? Is there a particular scene from the finale that underlines that for you? And the director responded by saying, the theme that interested me in these scripts and in this story was the theme of other. How do we confront the other in our neighborhood? How do we confront the other in ourselves? How do we reconcile love that doesn't seem to fit into a socially acceptable box? Sam Jackson and I had a lot of conversations about that. Kingsley Ben-Adir and I had a lot of conversations about that. Ultimately, the scene that I pushed for and really enjoyed is when Nick Fury kisses Vara at the end. That is releasing the sense of other in himself that has been a constraint or a prejudice. It's opening up the world to conversation. If not all out love and embracing, it's the very last scene of the series, and it really feels like that's what it's about. Yeah. For that fucking side plot of Nick Fury and his wife, which should have been front and center if that was the theme of the show, what about the rest of the show? The side plot was being accepted, loving your partner for who they are, whatever, your neighbor, anybody could be a part of the community, they're different, blah, 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 blah. But we didn't see, we saw villages of Skrulls, but we didn't see, genuinely good Skrulls that wanted to just fit in with society. You know what I mean? If there was, a scene where you see a Skrull family, right? And then they're being forced by, let's say, the head Skrull, whatever his name was. What was his name? Gravik. And he was being forced to do things for Gravik. But he was like, I have a family. We just want to live, incognito. He's making us do this.
Yeah.
And then Nick Fury has to contemplate, does he kill the dude? Should he just accept him and just let him be and let him go run away with his family? You know what I mean? Something like that. But we didn't even get that sense. We didn't get nothing like that. It was just a bunch of bad Skrulls doing bad shit. Gravik getting mad, doing dumb shit. I didn't get the sense of that besides with Nick Fury and the wife, and that was just a small taste compared to the whole show.
And that's why. And that's the better half. If that was your end goal, that should have been front and center. There's no way you're going to tell me, oh, the side part of the show is what everything means. No, that's not how that works. Your main story should be the theme. And while it is nice that we got those scenes and they are kind of my favorite things about this show, there isn't enough here to be that's what I got from it. Because that I got some of it, but again, just a little bit, not enough to be like, okay, this show has heart and love and whatever else going for it. No, it's a lot of other bullshit, and then you kind of cut it off with that CGI fight, and you're just like, well, that while the themes are there, you're also misconstruing it because you're throwing shit that isn't supposed to be there in the mix.
Yeah, just for the sake of MCU formula.
Exactly.
Or like, oh, we need to do this, or there has to be a fight here.
There has to be Skrulls fucking shit up in a Drax arm that doesn't work. Like come on, bro.
That doesn't work. Damn. Yeah, I didn't get anything like that from the show. The little part that he does say about Nick Fury and his wife, I did feel that, but that being a tiny part of the show of a massively what I felt to be overstuffed and not really a narrative direction. It just
and that's the tough thing, because you like, if that was the case, you would think that there would be more heart in this show, because you had people taking over full-on lives from people who had families and stuff. Like, why not play on that aspect of, oh yeah, no, like, they're not my family, but I've been in this dude's spot for how many years doing graphics work, I kind of feel like I'm part of them now. Like, play on that, do something.
Yeah,
like the dude that they shot, sorry, spoiler, the dude that they shot to stop him from shooting nukes or whatever at the plane, or missiles at the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Have him play on the fact that, no, don't kill me. Like, I know I'm not really his dad, but we have, like, whatever. Play on that.
Yeah,
but that's not what happened. They just shot him, and then the kid was like, oh no,
and
now
they
I don't have a dad technically.
Yeah,
so,
they didn't even deal with the backlash of that at all.
Yeah,
they kind of were just like, oh, we left them fatherless.
Saved the day.
Nick Fury's like, fuck yeah, motherfucker. Like, it's. Yeah, there is not enough there to make you feel any of these things that he was just talking about in that.
He's talking out of his ass. That's bullshit.
So next question was asked from Variety: is this a season finale or a series finale? What is the language? And he basically responded, "Oh yeah, I would say season finale. Who knows, right?" The Variety interviewer said again, "Have you heard about season 2? And what do you know?" He responds, "I don't know anything about season 2. I think there's some great threads that could be run down, but is there a season 2? I have no idea." What threads? What thread? You killed the bad guy. Amelia Clarke is all powerful. Any inconvenience to her day, she can easily just fucking avoid it or just smash through it. It doesn't even matter. She's literally indestructible. She could tear down the world and nobody. I looked at a list of all the powers that this girl got, and she's basically unstoppable. She's the most powerful fucking superhero ever. Anybody can fucking try to dance with her, and she's gonna wreck the shit out of them. It's insane. Season 2, what threads? What threads is left to even leak into season 2?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can we see what Nick Fury and Vera are doing on the ship? Is it rated R?
No, well, no, because that's kind of what the Marvels is for, right? Unless we don't see her at all, then I'm gonna be mad.
WTF to that?
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? She was just on the ship. What? She better be there. Like,
maybe he had to change a heart and actually put the bullet in the head. I don't know.
It was just like, actually, I don't need you getting in the way of these space bitches.
Love? We ain't got no love for these hoes or these scrolls. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think a season 2 is there. This could be fine as one of those limited series that they were talking about. Let Loki get a season 2. WandaVision can stay a single series. Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Depending on where their movie goes, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't think this one needs a second season. I think it kind of ended fine.
Yeah. So now the Variety interviewer basically asked this question right here that I'm about to read out. This question I was thinking about the whole time. This is the one that speaks loudly to me. So his answer is going to be very crucial right now for me. But the interviewer said this: audience have gotten conditioned to the idea of the supersized season finale, but Secret Invasion's episodes got shorter as the show went along. What was the vision for that? All right, I'm gonna read it first. I'm gonna read what he said, and he said back: "Vision is a really big word, and I appreciate you using it, but it's really just practical exploration and the practical evolution of a story. It's written one way, actors start performing it, and it becomes something slightly different. And when you start filming the performances, it becomes something slightly different. And then when you go to edit it, you realign yourself. I don't mean to make it practical film school stuff, but ultimately you just watch the cuts and you say, that's too long, that's unfocused, looked good on the page, sounds good on the set, not helping our story at this point. And there's also some sense of ramping up to an explosive ending, which to my mind means you go faster, not bigger, and bloatier. And this was the problem for me, bro, because oh my god, dude. If you guys want to go check it out, we have the beginning of the season review out right now and our whole series review out right now. And in the first part of that review, when we broke down the first 3 episodes and we talked about it, was the first 3 episodes were fucking long. They were boring. They talked a lot. I caught a lot of what they said. I had to rewatch it because there was a lot of exposition in those. And I honestly, in the first 3 together, I think the first 2 were the worst offenders and the third kind of lightening up. And as time went on, that's what basically happened. It just kind of got faster and faster and faster. I didn't want that because in the beginning, when they were building up that suspense, it just felt like all the payoffs didn't. They made us ride the fucking long ass roller coaster up. And then when we came past that hump, it was like one loop-de-loop and you were back at the station.
Yeah. I guess that's the best way to sum it up. Because, yeah, it was slow. It was very slow. But do you sacrifice... this is a basic film school stuff, my ass. But, like, there's no way you should be sacrificing your story if you think something's too long. Like, who knows... Like, a lot of stuff ends up on the cutting room floor, right? We know that. We know a lot of things don't survive that. That's what the cutting room floor is called. But that is way before the editing process. If you filmed it, that means you thought it was necessary. And we understand shows don't get deleted scenes and stuff. Sometimes they do, if they put them out on disc or whatever. Mm-hmm. The Disney Plus is barely coming out with WandaVision's disc set. I don't think we're going to be getting any, like, deleted scenes from any of these shows for a while. If they even pack them in there, you know?
Well, you got to think, you know how many, like, deleted scenes happened just because of COVID alone? A good chunk of these shows, like, I know Falcon and Winter Soldier, there was a whole, like, virus plot line that supposedly was completely scrubbed because of COVID. Loki had a whole plot line that needed to be moved because of COVID, because it was, like, a sensitive time. They couldn't have that.
No, well, yeah, but that is a different thing. Filming something versus... an idea that doesn't make it, that's 2 different things.
Yeah.
So, like, if he thought to film this scene of Samuel L. Jackson and Rhodey talking a little bit longer, and it's another just back and forth, you know how they were going at it in the show, you should really evaluate, like, okay, this is very important, and it could be crucial to the story. Let's see if we can fill that in. But no, he basically said that for a crescendo finale, you got to be fast. You can't have it big. So that you basically cut it out so your ending can be perfect? That doesn't make sense.
That's basically it, too. How can you have a season 2 if your ending ended perfect? How can you have a season 2 if you had a happy ending? There is no thread to go to a season 2. That doesn't make any sense. It literally sounds like he's just answering these questions and just being like, oh, yeah, rolling with the punches. Assuming
your theme was the love stuff, right? And you thought you executed it perfectly in the show. Why would you need a season 2 then?
Well, you could wrap up the love stuff with a nice bow on top, but you can also have that lingering threat at the very end, like, oh, you know, he's happy, he thinks everything's good, but then, oh, Gravik is still alive. You know, that hole in the chest didn't do anything, you know, or whatever the fuck. Like, you just see it happen, and then you're like, oh shit, like he's coming back. You know, Nick Fury isn't safe for so much longer. No, they did away with everybody. Emilia Clarke went off to be happy. I don't know what the fuck she was doing by the end of the show. By that point, I was kind of
teamed up with Sonya.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Teamed up with her. They went to go do whatever they're gonna go handle and shit. We're gonna see him in Marvels. There's no threat to carry on to season 2. there's nothing that even remotely even lingers to the fact that you were even planning a season 2.
Yeah. So even if you did it, you'll be bullshitting. It isn't like Loki. You know what I mean? Where the first season literally set up for season 2.
Yeah.
And now we're getting that in October or whatever, whenever the fuck that drops. But that's what you should be doing.
I'll argue WandaVision even set up a season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what Agatha is technically.
Oh, okay.
It's like going to be its follow-up. But it's different though, because take Loki again, right? It ended with season 2, the possibility of a season 2. But if they were like, nah, we're just gonna have season 1, at least it set up something that will be addressed. You know what I mean? Like Kang and the TVA. We know Kang is the big bad of this saga, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like at some point, it's gonna be addressed. It's good that they are getting a season 2, but you know it could have totally left on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
This one didn't even give you a cliffhanger to anticipate the second season. It kind of just wrapped up nicely, as he's put it.
It did. Because there's some shows, like I said, clearly they had like another movie in mind. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, that one kind of wrapped up neatly, and you're just like, okay, we'll see you again in Captain America 4 and stuff. And WandaVision, same thing. We'll see you again at this next juncture. But Agatha is going to be getting out or something. You know, they didn't kill her, so, you know, there's that underlying fear or whatever that she might pop up again. But yeah, I don't know. The way he's responding to some of these is just like I wouldn't have.
He's like bullshitting.
In a way, he's trying to, you know,
he's trying to sound sophisticated for
knowing that
TV's sake.
Knowing that some shit probably got
he probably
jumbled
knows
up.
It's not coming.
Okay, so the interviewer says that honestly makes sense, but that has been one of the questions that's been floated online. A critique, if you will, is why make this a TV series versus a movie? Was a movie framework ever discussed? Maybe a TV like Werewolf by Night, like a TV movie like Werewolf by Night. He responds with, "That's a great question. By the time I came on board, scripts were written and we were talking about 6 episodes. So I don't know. I do know that some point along the way, Armor Wars shifted from a series to a movie for various reasons that I don't know." That one, I mean, they obviously wanted to make money on Disney Plus. That's the reason why this one was gonna. It could have been a movie. Half these shows could have been movies, and they could have probably done and performed a lot better as a movie than a show. But they wanted to prop up Disney Plus. They wanted to make sure that they had a roster that people could look forward to. So they already put this one on the roster. And by the time he got signed on, yeah, obviously the conversation. Now, if Iger would have taken over just a little bit sooner, they probably would have flipped this one to a movie as well.
Yeah.
But it was just
Either
just
a
probably
movie or it would have hit the floor.
It would have hit the floor, yeah. But it was probably too late. He couldn't back out. It was already mostly filmed. They had to recoup somehow. Let's go ahead and just put it out. But I would have just said this could have not been put out.
And that's the thing. I can imagine being in his seat and being like, "Oh, this doesn't work. Can we make it a movie or a special, or whatever?" I think a special was probably too short. Like you can do a lot in an hour, but to tell a very cohesive scroll story probably wouldn't have worked. Maybe like an hour and a half movie would have done it right. And it just doesn't work. 6 episodes isn't enough. 6 episodes, 2 of them almost an hour, and then the rest of them 30 minutes. You're destined to fail in that shit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work.
And I never thought the scroll plot line was gonna end up like this, because I thought they were building up to something crazy with Far From Home.
They should have definitely invested with this shit.
Yeah, with Far From Home, the way they sprinkled that in there, like it felt like it was gonna lead up to something humongous.
Yeah,
and it just kind of wound up falling flat. They somehow had a machine that can easily transform them and shit like that, and it's fucking ridiculous, man. It was just, it didn't make any sense. So I personally thought it could have been a movie, but they choose to. I don't know why Black Widow deserved a movie, but Nick Fury didn't. I would have thought Nick Fury would have got a movie a long time ago, but then again, he's been sprinkled out along the way. So, in a way, I guess a TV show is fitting, but they really should have done better with this one.
There's no way.
And then we come down to the big question, all right? So, Variety asked them, what have you made of the reaction to the series overall? Because reviews have been mixed. He responds, I don't read reviews. With all due respect, for me, I view all the storytelling work I do as dialogue with an audience. When the show is finished and I put on the screen, that's my half of the dialogue, and the audience then starts their half of the response to it. I think that's valuable, but I don't know how to answer the question. I don't feel bad about mixed reviews. If you had unanimously good reviews, every movie would gross $10 trillion, right? Projects resonate with different people at different times for different reasons, and Marvel has a very devoted, even rabid fan base who have expectations, and when their expectations aren't fulfilled, they move in the other direction. They give it a thumbs down. I don't know, is it our job to fulfill their expectations or to tell the story that we're telling? So it's a tricky thing. I would love it if everybody loved it, but I also don't have that expectation myself, so I feel great about the response to it. Sounds like a lot of toe stepping for. I ain't gonna look at that shit. I know they're gonna talk shit. I had a job to do and I did that job. You know what I mean? That's basically what he said. Now, yes, story should come first, but you should have the expectations of the fans and the fan base in mind, saying that, you know what, we've come a long way from Iron Man 1. There's so many superheroes. They fought Thanos. How can we make this show exciting for the fans? You know, how can we level up the character from Infinity War? Him coming back from the snap, him coming back from, you know, this broken Nick Fury thing probably sounded good, but it took forever for him to come back. Why did we see Nick Fury doing Nick Fury shit in the last episode only? And even then, half of that episode was a fake Nick Fury giving a fake speech to the villain that was Nick Fury's villain, but got swapped out because easy cop out. Skrull can easily take over Nick's body. Look, I'm sorry, I got a little too into that one, but I think our expectations should come to mind. I think he should have said, you know what, they're gonna expect some Nick Fury shit out of this show. We're gonna really toy with his emotions because we've always seen Nick Fury as this stone brick wall who takes no bullshit. Now we're gonna really bring him to his knees emotionally. Physically, he could have still been the Nick Fury, but he could have been uncertain. The kind of way that they did with Iron Man in a way, where, you know, in Iron Man 3, he was still dealing with the PTSD of, you know, the first Avengers mission that he ever had, him tossing the rocket into space. Mm-hmm. They could have done something like that for Nick Fury, but they didn't. And they made him into a pussy the whole show, except for when they really needed him at the end of the show.
Yeah, that basically sums it up. That sums it up very nicely. It's like, there's a lot that you could have done. Like, if you were gonna play on the emotion stuff and whatnot, like, do that. Don't start to do it and then be like, oh, well, we can't go all the way because people might find this boring. No, we full send that shit. People like emotion. Like, people will fuck with that. People liked most of Iron Man 3 with the PTSD. I know I did. I liked Iron Man 2 where he was an alcoholic and he was dealing with all that and dying. Like, I'm sure you would have pulled on way more strings playing this love and emotional card with Nick Fury than having the Skrulls kind of be the center of attention. And yeah, I get it. Shows are meant to shows and movies can flesh out their villains. But if we know Gravik is evil and his only motivation is to get back at humans, you don't need him to be human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't need him to have emotion at that point. He killed Skrulls that were trying to kill him. You know, like, make him that ruthless, where he just kills his own people because he thinks they're bad for the cause or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Don't
try to humanize him because we already know, you established, he's bad.
Yeah.
There's no reason for Nick to want to play, like, open hand with him when he knows he's just going to get bit. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Nick Fury is smarter than that.
Yeah, you could have done a lot more here, but you didn't. And I get it. 6 episodes, whatever. Then at that case, I would have, as a director, been like, this isn't going to work. Can I have a movie? And if not, let some other schmuck do it, because now he doesn't even sound proud of it. Like, that's not director mindset. This is like, what's his name? The director of Shazam type of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is like, you don't have pride in your show at that point because you didn't care for the fans' expectations or their whatever. How did you put it? His rabid fan base, whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
Like, you don't call your fan base that.
Yeah. that they could be rabid.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. If that's the case, make something you know people will like. Pull on their heartstrings a little bit, so if they're not invested to think, make them feel something.
I don't know where it came from. You really pointed that out, and I don't know where this came from. Where like these actors and directors and all these people think that I love my fans, but there's a few fans out there that get a little too you didn't give me what I want or whatever, or like they really you have the DC fans, real DC fans, and then you have the Snyder cultists who don't have any influence or don't do anything, and then you have Marvel fans, right? And then you have the toxic Marvel fans who really want to talk shit about everything and blah, 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 blah. Has it ever occurred to anybody? I know that there is a few haters out there. And I would say out of the whole graph, if there's like 100%, maybe like, I would say like 5% are actual genuine haters, or 10% if we really want to,
And even then,
if we really want to be on Twitter, I'd say like 10%. But at the end of the day, they're your fans, man. They're your fans that are showing. Some fans will eat anything up. Some fans will, you put out dog shit, they're gonna be like, this still tastes lovely. But some fans are gonna be like, I liked it here at this establishment when you guys were serving good food, but now y'all serving dog shit. So I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat dog shit. I want to eat good food. And so they're gonna check out, and then eventually, when they start serving good food again, they're gonna come back. That's how it works. But you can't say that they get rabid. You can't say that just because they don't agree with the way that you made it, or they didn't like it, like they're just toxic or whatever. It's not that. It's just your work was shit. They're telling you that it wasn't that good. I mean, a lot of people are really voicing their opinion about this show, and I'll tell you right now, it's not good. Maybe you should be reading some of those comments. I think he should be reading some comments. Exactly.
And, while the harshest person can tell you, be like, this is shit or whatever, like, I'm sure there's valid criticism in it, Like, what if he sees what if, for instance, he heard us, and he was like, oh, man, I probably could have done that. I probably could have pulled on their heartstrings a little more, so on and so forth. Don't go into it thinking, oh, no, I made a perfect product. It's these fans that don't like anything. No, you should probably go in there and be like, okay, maybe I didn't wrap everything right with a bow. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, Rhodey doesn't make sense. Whatever. Okay, not my fault.
I can agree, or I can't agree.
Exactly. Like come in it with that. Don't be like the Shazam director where he's just like, oh, I don't really give a fuck. I'm not doing anymore. Yeah. Like, it's like, I'm going back to horror. This is not, like, don't go in with that mindset, because now you got people that are like, well, he doesn't really care about a product. He just cares about getting paid.
Huh?
Like, we don't need you at that point, because you're not delivering for us. You're just pushing more corporate money into your pocket. Like, we don't care about that.
Basically. It's fucking ridiculous.
It doesn't make much sense.
And they need to get their shit together. Now, she does ask a couple more questions. She asks about Rhodey, and, we kind of have an idea that, he's probably from Civil War, but he even says as well that they're not going to find out until Armor Wars. That's not really the big question. This is the real big, juicy question right here that has everybody. I even brought it up just a little bit a second ago. Gaia being the most powerful being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So the Variety interviewer asks, I will ask you a nerdier question about that scene. This seems to be introducing Gaia's Super Skrull as Marvel's new most powerful being. How was it deciding which Avengers powers she was going to get to show off? And he responds with, well, simply put it, it comes from Kevin Feige, who says, it's all fair game. That's best expressed in the moment when Gravik takes the vial from Nick Fury, puts it in the computer where it is analyzed, and we see all the pure superpowers ever. That's like the moment where we're like, okay, this is going to be something. We storyboard those sequences for a month. I had 2 storyboard artists working on it, Aaron Swad in LA, who's a Marvel fanatic, and Ian McCaffrey in Dublin, Ireland, who is a little more of a choreographer and less involved in the MCU. And together, the two of them found a rhythm between superpowers that had meaning and superpowers that had choreography and elegance. Then those storyboards go to stunts, and stunts work out that some of those movements are impossible to do. And then it goes to visual effects, who say, I know this is what we planned, but it looks so funny, so let's maybe go from this arm to a different arm because we want it to be more elegant. So the decisions are Kevin Feige, then story, and then just practicality. So how'd you end up with Captain Marvel's powers? That doesn't answer anything.
That doesn't make sense because I know I read comics. I haven't read anything with Skrulls in a while, but that doesn't sound accurate. You can give me the blood of fucking, Steve Rogers or whatever, but that doesn't teach me any of their techniques or fighting style. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going to start acting like Bucky and throwing hands. Like, no, I'm just going to be able to punch really hard until I start learning how to kung fu, whatever the fuck else,
Yeah.
That isn't how that works. So I saw Bucky's blood in that. I saw a lot of regular humans' blood in
Captain America.
Like, okay, she's a super soldier, but what how do I word this? What did she have before, right, that made her indestructible in the first place? It was that extremist shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you already have the ability to heal from bullet wounds and shit. That's probably how Gravik is probably going to survive. He's probably not dead at all. Because, he can heal whatever.
The extremist thing.
Yeah. So let's assume that now she's, like, more durable or whatever.
Yeah.
So a bullet wound will still, like, hurt, but it won't, it still doesn't make sense. And then, yes, choosing the right arm would look funny or whatever, but that Drax arm still looks funny. So you're telling me that was the choice made by the CGI artist?
They probably said it looks less funny.
I don't know. On Gravik, it looked fine.
They were like, oh, that don't look right. Wait, they're like, but this looks better. They're like, it doesn't look good either. He's like, you gotta pick one.
That's the weird part though, because Gravik, to me, he looked good. Like, even like down to his like arms and stuff. I think he looked better than Emilia Clarke.
He looked good in those spots where like he was full scroll because he was a full CGI character, but the background looked off.
Well, yeah.
And then there was the scenes where like he would be moving around and the camera's kind of like facing his head in an awkward position, and it would look weird too. But yeah, I think Emilia Clarke's was like the weirdest one, and that was just because she was human.
She was human. And that throws you off. And like, again, I understand the concept. If you have two green people, you're going to get confused or whatever. But CGIing things on a human is still going to look goofy as shit. We've seen it time and time again. Superman's face. Whatever else. Like, Bruce Banner's head in the Hulkbuster. Like, doing that shit looks weird. And you should just flesh out a little more dough to give you that full CGI character, so now you have better. At least if they look stupid, you could be like, okay, they're full CGI.
Yeah.
But you made the attempt to not only make her look human, but you try to give her Drax's arm. Like, it doesn't work.
That shit looked so stupid. It was like a little baby Drax arm too.
Yeah.
It was like, why?
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a clunky, like big ass Drax arm. It doesn't make that shit still doesn't make sense. It puts the blood in you. I thought in the comics they have to literally touch them to get their powers.
I don't know. I haven't read anything with Skrulls. I'd have to get back to you. It's obscure, not like comic book knowledge that it changes.
Well,
so I haven't read.
Skrulls haven't been a thing for a while, and that's because of the whole rights thing with Fox and whatever. But
no, that's why they mainly fight the Fantastic Four in the comics.
Yeah,
that's why I was hoping for
a little nod to that.
Yeah, to like the Super Skrull to survive. Like, I was expecting Gravik to fight the Fantastic Four.
There could be another Super Skrull.
Maybe, but I don't know. Who knows where they take that?
Well, director Ali Salim, who
do better.
Just
be better.
I don't know. Well, the show for some people probably was okay. I know the finale rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So I guess fumbling the bag at the last episode is still a fumble. I think it's the worst offensive fumble. If you fumble like a couple episodes in between and get back up, that's easy. But if you literally waste our whole time and just fumble that ending, it's like there ain't no point. So a lot of people really, I'm sure there's a big no on this show for sure.
I don't know. People thought it was boring, and I didn't really feel that. Like, I don't think it was boring.
You feel it was boring?
No, because boring to me, like
the show was boring in the beginning.
I don't think so.
In the beginning, it was boring. It got a little bit better. Like I said, I think by episode 5, I was really excited. There was some really exciting things, like that whole meat locker scene with the girl. I think with the girl, she's phenomenal. I think she really lit up the room, but the rest of it was kind of boring. 100%.
Mm-mm.
And then like the reveal of Rhodey, that shit was even boring. You were just like, might as well happen. Why didn't they make other people like Skrulls? They took two side characters that you've only seen in a handful of movies, and we're like, oh, they've been Skrulls all along. How fucking boring is that? How fucking boring. And now you have people going on Twitter, oh, in Endgame, now I can see why Rhodey was so angry in this scene talking to Captain Marvel. Like, no, they did not know this was happening a few years back.
No, that was not planned. This was bullshit.
Yeah, this is not planned. Okay, it was some weird attempt at being edgy or being like, oh, you know, there's crazy shit afoot happening and all that shit. It's like, no,
that's not what they planned.
They didn't even.
Rhodey was literally upset because she said that she can solo them and she just wasn't there for the fight. That's the only connection. That's the only reason he was acting sassy toward her. He's been sassy toward Tony, his friend, way before he was taken, quote unquote taken, whenever he was taken. But in Iron Man 2, he whooped his ass because he was not straight. So it's in character for him to be sassy like that.
What? Not straight? He was gay?
Like, no.
Oh.
What the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about, dude?
Keep going.
like, I hate that you do that because it throws my fucking mind off the fucking rail. Like, can't you just let me finish before you say something stupid? Like,
I was just saying, like you said, not straight.
Like, he wasn't fine. He wasn't. He wasn't there mentally. God,
damn.
Where the fuck did you pull that from?
Oh, because you said he's not straight, and I was like, so he's gay?
No.
Oh,
no, that's not the correlation I was making at all.
Well, you got to really clarify those things.
But again, it just feels very weird.
Very weird. It is what it is. Congratulations, you put out a product, and you know, I hope you're good with it, man. We'll have to wait and see where Marvel takes this next, but shit's crumbling beneath Marvel's feet as we speak. So I don't know how much longer they got. But moving on to a higher note. So Seth Rogen basically said that Oppenheimer is the ideal edible scenario. And as you know me, Josh, I partake in these things. And so I really wanted to talk about this, okay? I'm very excited about it. So he speaks to Vanity Fair, asking if he was I guess the interviewer asked him if he was an edibles guy. And he says, yeah, I fuck with edibles a little bit, but I would do it sparingly. I would say, and generally only if I'm in a situation where it seems like I have to go a long amount of time without smoking. He says, like Oppenheimer, seems like an ideal edible scenario if you ask me. I was talking to Snoop Dogg about edibles once. He also does not eat a lot of edibles. I asked him why, and he basically says because edibles got no off switch. And I thought, great point. You smoke a joint and you have some sense of how long it'll last. You eat a brownie and you're either not high at all or as high as anyone's ever been for 48 hours straight, end quote. So he's probably right, but I don't think I want to eat an edible during Oppenheimer. Imagine you're tripping balls and you just see, boom, you're just sitting back, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, what the fuck's going on here? I would say Oppenheimer's the opposite of an edible movie. I think an edible movie
would, honestly, depending on the edible and how strong it is, I hear the way this movie ends really, like, tears into your soul a little bit. So, like, I'm sure it would fuck with you mentally. It would put you into, like, a midlife crisis in your 20s. Like, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean?
No, dude.
Like, what were we talking about yesterday when I told you that I don't get Wes Anderson's movies?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get his style.
Yeah.
And you were like, you have to be high to enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can see that. I can be high and enjoy the Mr. Fox one. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
Like, that's what I imagine. An edible scenario, I get what he means. Like, if you're going to sit there for like 3-4 hours, you might as well take an edible so you can just space out.
Yeah.
But pick and choose the movie. Don't do it during Oppenheimer. That's a mistake for sure.
I'll say right now, if I eat an edible during a movie, any movie, I'm having my own movie in my head. I'm not even paying attention to what's on screen. That shit, it's translating in my brain differently. It's probably like cats talking to each other. Like if it was the Barbie movie, it's Margot Robbie as a cat dressed in pink. Talking to an
well,
elephant.
yeah, because I mean, you've seen Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that one high.
I did.
Yeah,
I did it.
like
It was nice. It was crazy.
I'd imagine it would fuck you up too.
It was okay. A trippy movie was Have you seen A Good Dinosaur?
No,
It's a children's movie, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. It's on Disney Plus. I was watching it, right? And not a bad parent, but like I was just chilling there, you know. I smoked a little bit. I was kicking it. It was playing right there. The boys fell asleep. I just wound up sitting there watching it on my own. And I was like, there's a scene where like the kid eats like a plant and he just starts fucking tripping. He starts tripping, bro, like in the movie, and like so much things just start happening. I'm just like, I was like, is this me or is this the movie? I was like, there's no way that this movie's doing this. And then so I sobered up, I rewatched it, and it did happen. But that whole scene was a fucking trip, bro. Just sitting there, just looking at it, I was like, why is this happening to me? I really thought like I was tripping. And then after watching that, because I was so high, I'd look away and there was like happening on the walls and stuff, and I was like,
this might be me.
Yeah.
Not very off the shit.
Yeah. Too much sauce in that one.
But I understand what he means. And Snoop Dogg totally sounds like the type to be scared of edibles too.
Snoop ain't no pussy, dog.
He just said he doesn't do it.
Oh yeah, because I mean that shit's fucking scary, bro.
Yeah, and that's why
he literally has a point. There's no off switch.
Yeah,
like you're literally gonna be done being high in like 2 hours, or you're gonna have to ride that ride for like a good minute. Have you ever fell asleep on edibles and woke up and you're still high?
Yeah,
that shit's fucking.
It's scary.
Bro, it is scary.
It fucks you up because you're like, I swear, like that bitch said only a few hours.
This isn't reality anymore. It fucks you up. So I personally like edibles, but I'm just not gonna do it during this movie. I mean, not during Oppenheimer, not during a lot of movies.
Don't do it during Oppenheimer. Pick a fun movie to watch if you're gonna do it high.
Like fun movies to watch high. Like if I was, well, I think I found enjoyment out of Rise of Beast because I was a little high when I was watching it. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
watch. I think the ideal movies to watch are ones that will have you laughing your ass off. So like scary movie, like any of the scary movies. I think
it don't hit like that. It's not. It's when you're watching stuff, the best, in my opinion, at least when you're high, and maybe this is for all the tokers out there. If you guys, want a little bit of sauce, when you're high, you gotta watch something thought provoking, because that's when you're truly entertained. When you're just laughing at something, you're gonna laugh about it, and then you're probably gonna think about like other shit that happened that pertains to that, and you're not really gonna watch the movie. But like if you're high, bro, if you're high, like what was the one movie that really got me? Prisoners. I was high, bro, and I watched Prisoners, bro. That shit had me wanting to leave the house catching pedophiles, bro. Like that shit made me mad. I was so, bro.
Chris Hansen,
bro. I was. I get my clipboard out. I'm like,
so you're here to meet a 13-year-old boy?
Yeah, like I was like, God damn. I was interested in that one, and I think, like superhero movie that I was able to really get into, like high. It was Logan, 100%. That shit made me cry high. I've never cried high. That shit was crazy.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Seth Rogen is on the money though.
Yeah.
Not with
and
Oppenheimer.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it with Oppenheimer. I'd be scared for my life.
But
like,
I mean, for the stoners and the ones that partake, I guess, what is the ideal edible scenario?
Yeah. And what's like your high movie?
Yeah. What's one movie I guess you watch high that's like
mine's is This Is the End.
It's A1.
Yeah. I like watching that one when I'm high. I don't know why. And it's not because of the Jonah Hill part.
Why would I don't know. That kind of you kind of name dropped. I didn't even remember that was part of the movie. And then you said it. You kind of outed yourself a little bit.
You know what? He's in a lot of the movie, so nobody knows.
We don't know which one he's talking about. We're talking about the part where he throws up.
I feel like you know a little too much about the movie.
Well, I didn't
know the throwing up part.
I've seen that movie quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a good movie. Good job, Seth Rogen, killing it out there. But somewhere he's not killing it, and maybe rightfully so, is over there at Marvel or DC. Now, he has made superhero movies, right? Or shows as well. He's made The Boys. He made Invincible. I think he did Green Hornet back in the day.
Fuck
That one's a good one. That's a good classic right there.
Totally forgot he was there.
But he doesn't really know whether or not he wants to take on those projects. And he told this to Polygon when asked if he would do one of those projects, knowing that he has a superhero background now. He and why he hasn't. He says, honestly, probably fear. We really have a pretty specific way we work. Me and Evan have been writers for 20 years at this point. It's a fear of the process, honestly. And I say that knowing nothing about the process, there are a lot of Marvel things I love. He goes on to say it's mostly a fear of how would we plug into the system they have in place, which seems like a very good system and a system that serves them very well. But is it a system that we would ultimately get frustrated with? And what's nice about Mutant Mayhem, because he was talking about the Ninja Turtle movie that's coming out, is that we're the producers of this. So we dictated the system and we dictated the process in a lot of ways, and that's what's also appealing for us about The Boys and the other bigger franchisey type things we've done, is that we are creating the infrastructure and process for them, not plugging into somebody else's infrastructure and process. We're control freaks.
Exactly. Perfect way to sum it up.
He knows how to answer questions.
Yeah,
I like him.
Essentially, we know that the Marvel formula exists. He is probably being nice to not poke fun at it, but we know they if you don't do shit the way they want, you either walk or they do it without you. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's been done multiple times. Ant-Man, Doctor Strange 2. Like we've seen it happen. If you don't play along the lines, you get kicked out. Like that's just how it goes.
Exactly.
So.
Edgar Wright, that shit was crazy.
Yeah. So they're out of pocket.
It snuffs out creativity.
Exactly.
Because you got to fit it into this bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like, look what happened to Eternals. They started trying to get creative with it. I personally like the movie. I know as a Marvel fan, it probably just doesn't hit like every other Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But I
or
personally,
if you're racist.
I mean that too. But I personally liked it, and I thought they were taking a big step forward with that. But then the very next movie, we get back in that box, and then you hear it with Sam Raimi. He had to cut out stuff, and they couldn't go too scary, and he couldn't really do what he wanted to do. Granted, they probably had to take control of the reins with him because he's one of those directors that he even said it himself. He didn't watch WandaVision. He didn't do his homework. He just wanted to make this movie the way he wanted to make it, and maybe they had to put a little couple breaks with him. But I mean, for the most part, snuffing creativity is just the worst, and you see that in movies. Like, why was Iron Man 1 so successful? Because Jon Favreau had a vision, had a story, told that story, and it came out good.
Yeah. So, I understand what he means completely. If he's producing it, he gets to do shit how he wants, hire the people he wants to hire, and, eventually creatives will come along and be like, I like this. And then they'll put it together. Yeah. That works so much better than confining to someone else's box, because now in your own box you set the boundaries, you set what happens. Like it's not it's the same concept as the MCU's thing, but with Seth Rogen, I imagine he's gonna be a lot more open to ideas, while the MCU is like, nah, you gotta stick to these lines. You know what I mean?
Stick to the script.
Yeah. So Seth Rogen is right on the money with this.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't think we can. I could not even fathom, because you hear stories like Edgar Wright, him walking off, Zack Snyder's the Justice League we were talking about a little bit earlier. When movies get the Schumer cut, when movies get hacked up from creativity, they come out as monstrosities. Like, you remember when David Ayer came out because people were bashing him about the Suicide Squad cut, and he came out with this big ass paragraph because they were taking it so personal. Mm-hmm. I don't think Seth Rogen deserves that, and I don't think he would be able to put up with that either. Exactly. Because he's such a chill dude, you know? And so I would hate for him to be put into that mill, them say, this doesn't work. They botch up his work, and then now he's one of those people that is just constantly a fucking punching bag for comic book Twitter. Yeah. So, he's just right on the money. He gets it. If TMNT seems like the right brand and franchise for Seth Rogen, especially if he's producing it, let him cook. I'm actually interested. It's just the animation style. I think that's the only thing holding me back with this one. But I'm actually interested in this movie. Actually.
Actually,
Actually.
no, me too. I wouldn't say the animation is what's getting me. It's the villains, and I know they don't want to do Shredder so early because we just had a recent Shredder villain, and then we know what happened with the Krang last time we seen them. So I'd imagine they want to go do something different, show off a little bit more of the rogue gallery, but I don't know. Something tells me,
something tells me that they're gonna keep it safe with just Shredder. Probably something mild. The best TMNT story to date, in my opinion, is that one TMNT movie.
The one from 03?
Yeah. No, it was like 08 or something. 06,
was it?
Something.
07.
07, there you go.
What do you call it? I know what you're talking about.
The TMNT one.
Yeah.
The one with the girl, Rachel, and they try to, like, the statue, and they...
Yeah, and Leo comes back.
Yeah, that's, like, a good one.
Yeah, no,
I heard the one on Netflix is really good, too. I just haven't gotten into that one.
No. I mean, yeah, I showed you the trailer for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that one, too.
Like, I imagine that one's good. But... yeah, they just won't do Shredder for a while, I imagine, because we've had a Shredder. The villains in this one are like other mutates, and that's cool. I don't know if
I think they said Cowboy and Bebop is gonna be in this one again.
That's why. It's those
Bebop.
two. The rhino and the hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd imagine it's a movie about other mutates, and like who knows what that animated series and their sequel can be about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Let him cook with his universe.
Yeah. Let him do that. He doesn't have to be part of Marvel and DC. He already has Invincible to deal with. The Boys got the Gen V spin-off happening already.
He has a lot.
Yeah, Marvel and DC don't need him, and he don't need them either. So
I think another thing that he could do would be very interesting if he had something to do with Spawn. I think he would do something great with Spawn.
A good Spawn, yeah, but that would have to be another. Hey, we're gonna. Well, I don't even think Todd McFarlane would even give him a chance to. That fool was like vicious when it comes to the rights. He made the first Spawn movie, and that one kind of was a flop, and then a cult classic now. I think it was kind of like, oh, this is one of like the first superhero movies type shit. And then I think a few people, it was shopped around to a few people, this reboot that's happening, and same thing, he just couldn't pick somebody perfect for it, so he put himself in the spot again. And I'm like, he's done a couple okay movies, but I don't think he can make a superhero movie. I think somebody like Seth Rogen or like, I wouldn't say him, I would say like Sam Raimi would make a good Spawn movie too. I think somebody with horror, James Wan would probably do a good Spawn movie. Yeah, I think some people can. It's just Todd McFarlane would not allow that to happen. It's a little side tangent, but Todd McFarlane is the creator of Spawn, and he refuses to let other people make movies about it.
Yeah, but I think in Seth Rogen's hands, if he ever got a shot, he'd do correctly.
100%. But something that is in their hands from Seth Rogen is the Invincible property. Now, Universal apparently is still looking to make this adaptation. It's being told to Screen Rant from Robert Kirkman, saying that everything's been on pause, but it's something that I know Universal is very invested in, and it's something that we've been working on behind the scenes up to this point. Hopefully, I'll be able to answer the question in a more answerable way at some point in the future. So, Universal's still interested in making this live-action adaptation. A lot of people are casting Nightwing actor on Titans, Ryan Porter, as the Invincible character. I'm not 100% sure if that's fitting, because isn't he like half Asian in the show? He's like half Asian, half American.
Get the dude that played Beast Boy.
No, hell no. He's a terrible actor. He's a fucking terrible actor.
Yeah, but they're the ones that he's the closer option.
Nah, he's a terrible actor. Get somebody else. I would 100% say somebody else. Maybe not a CW actor. I say give it to somebody. I'm trying to think of like a half Asian, half American actor, but I can't, like, off top, I can't think about it. Can you think of somebody?
No.
Brenda's Song. Gender swap him?
No.
No? Not good?
No. Well, he's too old.
Who's too old?
I was going to say the dude that's playing Sentry. He's too old.
Will Porter?
Is that his name?
Oh, wait, Sentry? Oh, him. That's the same dude who voices the actor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Stephen Yu.
Yeah,
He voices Invincible.
No. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I thought he can easily translate to that, but I don't know. Maybe he's just too old to actually appear as a teenage kid in You know what I mean?
Ryan Porter looks the part. He's just too white, and he has been in other movies. He's been in other movies before Titans.
Has he?
Yes.
What movies?
He was in The Giver. Did you watch The Giver?
I've heard about it. Yeah, he was in that movie. Okay.
He did
I've
pretty
heard
good in
about
that one. I like that movie.
Really? Because they didn't make a career out of it.
Man, that movie, it's based on a book. So, and I've read the book.
I remember him coming out in, like, the book era as this, like, heartthrob. Like, he was that, he was that handsome boy that, saves a girl or does some badass
stuff. Like
stuff.
the next Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, like, he was trying to be propped up to be this big thing, and he just kind of never turned out to be anything.
His Nightwing is pretty good, though. I like his
So
Nightwing.
I hear. I haven't finished it.
I
Gotta finish
he
it.
does a pretty good Nightwing. I think if he got the part, it'd work. But again, he's just too white, and that will. I don't really care, but I know the internet will care.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, he's not diverse enough, and blah 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 blah. I mean, if he looks kind of Asian, I mean, even in the show, he's not like, he doesn't even look 100% Asian either. It's not like he has like squinted eyes and stuff. So I don't really understand where that big deal would come from. But hey, it is what it is. It's 2023. But I'm still looking forward to a live action version. Who can they possibly get is beyond me. Will they get J.K. Simmons to play the character in live action, or will we get a Henry Cavill to play Omni-Man?
Fuck that, dude. I honestly hate that.
Henry Cavill playing Omni-Man?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
that'd be cool.
That's lazy. That is so lazy. That is a lazy casting.
What's his name? The dude that was gonna Jeffrey D. Morgan.
I can see him doing it.
100%.
He's already beefy. Like, he could do it. I see. You're cooking now.
Okay.
Before you were kind of burning dry shit.
I thought I was cooking, but the stove wasn't on. I was like, hold on.
Like,
let me hit the igniter real quick.
Now you're kind of fueling it. But I feel Henry Cavill is just lazy. And if J.K. Simmons is not, he's old, so. You know what I mean? Like, and I know he's yoked. He's
yoked right now.
Yeah, he's very yoked, but I'd imagine that he's also very limited. So I don't see him coming. But Jeffrey D. Morgan could probably work.
I think so. Hey, put me on. Moving on, though. Another thing that's making a lot of Twitter fans crazy is that we won't be seeing any Marvel or the Marvels in any theater with an IMAX screen. Because apparently Dune Part 2 will be taking them all up for about 5 to 6 weeks. That they're going to be prioritized over the Marvels. A lot of people are upset, saying that they won't be able to check out this movie in IMAX. Are we one of those people, or are you one of those people?
No.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
If I'm not watching this movie in theaters, it's probably going to be streaming anyways.
Well, we watched the first one in 3D, didn't we?
I don't think that was me, big dog.
No, but we did watch it together, the first one. It wasn't in 3D, though. Remember we came out and we were like, that looked a lot better than we thought it would?
Oh, we did watch it in 3D.
We watched
it. No, you're right.
We watched it together.
We were at the Maya, 100%. Yeah.
So it was 3D. I was not sure about that. Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no. So we watched.
I wanted to see it because it was in space.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stars, and so I wanted to see it in 3D.
It was good. Like, 3D was a good watch for the first one, but that's what I mean. Like, I don't really care, because if we can get the same effect in 3D, like, it's fine. I don't really care.
Yeah, I wonder what Kamala's powers would look like in 3D.
That'd be trippy.
Thinking about it now. Damn. Can we watch this one in 3D?
I'd be down.
You'd be down?
Yeah, but like for IMAX, I don't really care. If this was a big issue, the MCU would have handled it a long time ago by moving it forward or pushing it back. But
I think they just moved it too many times.
They just don't care.
But they basically backed that shit up right at the second week of Dune, so that spells trouble.
Yeah,
100%.
Especially, I think Dune, the first Dune was straight to streaming because of COVID.
See, and what's going on with that though? Why is Dune having such a long run with IMAX when Tom Cruise was trying to get more IMAX screens for his Mission Impossible movie? How come Dune Part 2 is able to go longer than the first weekend? Because it's usually the first weekend and the first week in IMAX, and then by the second weekend, if there's nothing good on, they'll keep it in IMAX again. But if there's something else that's like right behind it, like a blockbuster movie that was filmed in IMAX as well, they're most definitely swapping that out for the new one. So why is it that Dune is being able to have this leeway, but Mission Impossible didn't. When Tom Cruise went out of his motherfucking way, bro.
Well, in Tom Cruise's case, it's just bad timing. Same thing with some people think Oppenheimer also had bad timing. Now that we know that Barbie's kind of blowing it out the water, but people were really ramping it up for these two to like make it together.
Mm-hmm.
And Oppenheimer's catching its footing, but like Barbie splashed hard, and I don't think Tom Cruise or Christopher Nolan were prepared for that, even with IMAX. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As for Dune, again, if the MCU cared, they would have moved it to get IMAX screenings. But when they put this down, I'm sure WB had that bitch covered and was like, "No, Dune is getting it." And I think they just pay for it. If all the slots aren't taken, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure that's another contract thing with the studio. I was like, "Hey, IMAX, I know Dune is getting these first 2 weeks. After that, can I have the next 2 weeks?" They could just be like, "Sorry, you can't because WB paid for 3 weeks or whatever for IMAX."
Mm-hmm.
And then that's just how scheduling goes. I don't think it's like anything like has to do with the movie itself. I think it's just how it's contracted.
Who puts the cheddar down at the contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. If Tom Cruise was there, he probably would have been like, IMAX 2 months, nonstop. That's why they probably didn't invite him to the contract signing. They were like, "Hey, we're going to do this in a discreet location. Don't let Tom Cruise know because he's going to poke his head out."
Tom Cruise is going to be like, "I heard my name." He starts running. he's like, "I know where I'm coming. IMAX, I'm coming."
He uses a dirt bike, hangs onto the side of a plane to get over there. Damn, Tom Cruise is a fucking menace to society. But either which way, I guess it doesn't matter. So stop making a big deal on Twitter about not seeing it in IMAX. I'm pretty sure half these people are gonna watch this movie.
No one. I know you guys don't care that much.
Yeah, they're gonna watch that shit in like streaming. 100%.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up. No, like.
So moving on now, we talked about before that Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, they were at one point being considered the lead roles of the new Fantastic Four reboot for Marvel.
Yes.
Disney. Plans fell through. We heard that Adam Driver is probably not going to be playing that character anymore. Mm-hmm. Same as Margot Robbie. A lot of rumblings were saying it was scheduling conflicts. I think at one point there was a rumor going around saying that Driver couldn't resonate with the character, according to an insider. Now, the big definitive answer seems to come out to it was money. Adam Driver was asking for a big paycheck. Margot Robbie was asking for a big paycheck. And I think this is the reason why we haven't gotten closer to a Fantastic Four casting, not just because of the strike that's happening right now. Obviously, they can't announce anything, nor can they really be doing auditions. But they had a chance to have this done before. Let's be real. James Gunn had his Superman, his Lois Lane, his villains of the movie, a few of the Justice League members, all casted before Marvel even casted one Fantastic Four character, locked in contract and all. There was negotiations. I know Trevin Diggs, he was the dude that played the crab in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
he was being slated to be the Thing, but things fell through. Paul Mescal was in the running for the Human Torch. Things fell through. They were trying to get these big name actors, but they don't have the money to shell out to really keep them.
Yeah.
And that's...
Yeah, and depending on who you ask, Adam Driver is a big ticket. Same with Margot now. And like...
Especially with the Barbie movie?
Yeah, she's definitely a golden ticket now.
And we were over here thinking like, does she sell tickets and shit like that?
No, she sells tickets.
Well, is it her or is it the Barbie movie?
You and your philosophical questions. It was her. It was fucking her.
Oh,
Don't ask me again.
What?
Don't do it.
No. The Barbie brand is a big Barbie brand.
Yeah, but the movie isn't even for children, so it doesn't matter.
When we were talking about this yesterday, Amy Schumer was slated to be Barbie at one point.
We don't give two fucks.
Would the Barbie brand have made this much money if Amy Schumer would have been the head?
No, because it's Amy Schumer.
Yeah, makes sense.
Her comedy is just, it's not funny, and that's not even me being misogynistic. She's just ass. Like I watch a lot of comedians. She's just not funny. Sorry.
Yeah, she's not a funny person.
Like, and that's, again, not a dig at her. There's a lot of unfunny male comedians too.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? The one that was in the Outlaws. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
He has a special out now too, and he's just not funny.
Yeah, his name's Adam too. I don't know his last name.
Yeah,
I heard,
but what do you call it? These are big name actors, and Marvel can't shell out, and there's a reason for that. Usually, their formula consists of non-big name actors first to build up. They probably don't have faith in this movie, so they're like, "Oh, names alone will get it to its bar." You know, Adam Driver is Mr. Fantastic, like that. That sounds sick as fuck. So
that chemistry would have been insane.
Yeah, they probably don't have faith in the story or whatever. You know, if they're trying to shell out big name actors out the gate, that could be something. But this movie, I was really looking forward to it. But the same with Blade, it just keeps hitting snags, and you're just like, I can't be invested in this if you guys haven't moved a track once.
Yeah, no, they still have yet to move any inch further to the goalpost. SAG strike's going on, so they're not going to be getting any closer at the moment either. But that chemistry would have been insane. That would have been a good pick. But they are a big dollar ticket, and I would have personally liked to see that happen. But hey, if Marvel can't shell out the money, Mr. Big Pocket Disney Mickey money, come on now. You can't hire Adam Driver or Margot Robbie. That's crazy. Side-eye, bombastic side-eye.
Bombastic side-eye.
Moving on, though, to our last topic. And our last topic is going to be the new Saw X trailer. We're going to be reacting to it because you were talking some mad shit the other day when we were talking about it being moved up in release date. Going up against now the creator.
Yeah.
Moving away from Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah. But
you still got to deal with The Exorcist. So how about that?
The Exorcist is going to do ass. You saw that trailer wrong. I don't have faith in that shit at all.
But, this one has a good potential. This one has...
All Saw movies have potential.
This one has the Saw name running for this one. So if the trailer's good, if it draws us in, this one could beat out the creator just because familiarity alone. Yeah. That was a big word to spit out.
And that is the whole thing Lionsgate was trying to do.
Wow.
No,
don't do it. It's a good franchise. You shut up.
You know what I was saying in that one episode? If y'all can remember, they didn't have faith in Spiral. So they were like, let's get this dude back.
This is the sequel to Spiral. You don't understand.
No, it's the sequel to the first one.
No, this is sequel to Spiral. All movies have John Kramer in there. It was a sequel. They try to do it on a different route with a different actor, whatever. They do things different all the time. This is what they do. This is literally their movies.
It's funny that you bring it up, right? Because I saw a post about what you talked about, because it's been a minute since I've seen the Saw movies. But I remember, I saw this post, and it made me think about what you said when you were like, oh, they didn't de-age him, whatever. They just put a backwards hat on him and said he was young. And then I saw that post come along my timeline, and I started dying. I was like, that's really what they did? What the fuck? I don't really remember that.
Yeah, they literally were like, oh, he was supposed to be younger and having a baby with this, and they get this young ass white lady, and they just hey, flip the hat backwards. Now I'm a fuckboy.
Yeah, but let's get into it, and we'll see how good this.
All right, and no comments until it's over. All right, okay. I know you. Just look at the lip.
Out of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer?
The cancer is still spreading. I'm afraid there's nothing else we can do. There is one person who might be able to help.
Our program is a two-pronged treatment outside Mexico City. The results have been stunning.
She saved my life.
You're in very good hands with us.
After that, what happens then?
Your whole life happens then. John Kramer.
According to these scans, the tumor was never removed.
How much time do I have?
Months, at best.
I still have a lot of work that needs to be done. Hello, everyone. It's time to play a game. You all pretended to cure me. But what I have planned for each of you is very real.
Peace came upon me. No light, no sound.
The only thing I have not provided is your anesthetic. But trust me, you will want to remain alert. Out of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer? Please, don't hesitate. Place a big enough piece of your cerebral tissue into the glass enzyme tank. This will save your life.
So sleep, silent
This is not retribution. It's a reawakening. Live or die. The choice is yours.
Damn. Amanda's back. I think the dude that was doing brain surgery, that looked like the dude from, I think, episode 5 or 6. I need to do a rewatch, but I think he looked oddly familiar, like he was around somewhere before. There's a connection there. I already figured it out, I think. But that looks good. I'm for it. What do you think?
No, I'm just kidding. It does look good. I will give it that. It does look good, yeah.
Okay. You're not just sparing my feelings?
No. Like,
no, I can take it, man.
No,
I can take it.
It genuinely looks good.
You're going to stop yelling.
Shut up. It genuinely looks good. I do get that sense of Saw, so they're not shying away. You know, you would expect in today's times, you know, it would dull something out like this. Because the first ones are coming out back in 2000, and alongside those was Final Destination. They just kept upping the fucking ante every time they killed. So I still get that feeling, but it does look good. It does really look good.
I was gonna say the trailer gave me like earlier Saw vibes. Like it didn't give me the Spiral vibe. It gave me more like, oh yeah, this is continuing like this franchise that was already there. So in a way, you could have been on the money when you're like, oh, now they're going back to the Saw franchise because of Spiral or whatever. But I think they're just trying to. I think they were using Spiral to draw attention to bring it back to Saw, because when all these things were happening, and this is kind of making sense a little bit now seeing the trailer, is that when the movie wound up coming out, that's why I told you Spiral was like actually well received, and it had like made a decent amount of money. When that came out, they were trying to make a sequel with Chris Rock again, but at that time they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and try to bring back John Kramer and, you know, switch it back to that Saw thing. So I don't know if Spiral was that stunt to be like, oh, we need to deliver a fresh take, and then so that fresh take they took it, and now they're going to try to put them back on that Saw train so they can keep making more of these movies. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what the plan was this whole time, but I mean, I've been hooked since the beginning. They can do whatever they want. I'm watching these movies. That finger breaking, that shit made me go, ooh, but I love that shit.
That shit had me too. Yeah, see, I'm intrigued by these movies, but I know I'm very squeamish, so it's like it's hard to keep my focus.
What is it? The blood, the guts, or the gore?
It's all. That would be all of it.
That's
that would be most of it. Thank you for summing it up. The story is fine and it's elaborate. I actually really enjoy that they tie into each other. You know, 4 goes back to 1, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I know this one will have that twist. Like they all kind of do, right? My thing is like, wasn't this is kind of leading into the theorizing part, but I'm like doing it before the movie shows up. Doesn't the first guy? Should I put a spoiler for the first Saw movie?
I mean,
it's been out.
It's been out for forever. Spoiler, if you guys want to go check them out and get interested in this movie. But I mean, for the most part, you guys should have seen it by now.
The guy from the first one basically makes it out,
and he winds up being the dude at the very end.
Yeah, wouldn't he be kicking? he'd be kicking around this time.
Yeah, I think the director came out when they had asked him on a podcast or something, and he kind of, because he was like, I'm not gonna give away too much, but he was saying that they might find out what happened to the doctor after that, and what happened to his original apprentice, the one that like basically did everything after he passed away, the detective, the cop. So we might be getting some answers in this one where, you know, later down the line, which I'm not sure how, when I think they said this one's supposed to take place between 1 and 2.
I've said that already.
Yeah, so it has to be...
it has to be setting up things correctly for the second one, because then that leads to the whole, but this doesn't add up. It retcons this, and like you don't want that with this franchise, because for the most part they are pretty good at tying their loose ends.
They are really good at that shit. Even when they like, there is like a plot missing in one movie, they fucking fix that shit in the next one in some way or shape or form. So like a continuity for them is really big, and I enjoy that about this. Seeing Kramer back is great. I mean, I know a lot of people make the joke, oh, he's dead already. Yes. But with timelines, we can do whatever we want now. You know, Star Wars has been doing it forever. You guys haven't been saying shit about that before, so I don't want to hear nothing. Saw is 100% valid.
Yeah, but for the most part, it does look good. And I don't know what it is, but John Kramer's voice,
it's nice.
It's always so soothing to hear. Like, I know there's, like, he's talking about murdering people, but, like, him talking just, it brings some sort of, like, soothingness. It's weird.
So if anybody was gonna murder you, you would want to hear that kind of voice.
It would be
yeah. You'd be like,
because he says things so calm. You know, like he's an evil fucking mastermind.
Yeah,
you would expect more like gravitas. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something like epic. But no, he just says that shit calmly. He's like, you know how he says it. Like if Morgan Freeman was...
Some might say like a withering old man. So
he sounds like he's dying.
Yeah. You know, it sounds like death is speaking out of him because he's about to die.
Yeah.
So.
He's like, let me just channel these last few words for you, fella.
Right. Very good. The Saw X trailer is out now on YouTube. Go check that out if you guys want to check it out. Go watch the movies. There's 10 plus Spiral.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, 9 plus Spiral.
9 plus Spiral. This one would make it 10.
Yeah.
Or 11.
Is there like a watching order for this?
Yeah. It goes 1, 2. It goes 1, 2, 3, Spiral, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like that. Yeah. It goes like that. Spiral goes in between, I think, 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one's going to go between 1 and 2. So
then it would be 1
the rest
2 Spiral 3.
Yeah, and I think the rest is basically
in order.
Yeah. Well, no, because he dies in 3. So 4, yeah, I'm trying to remember. No, I would have to do a rewatch. I got to rewatch it, or at least see the movies, like the back of them, and I'll be able to tell you. But
okay,
for the most part,
then Google the watching order, because
yeah.
For the time, it's kind of like the paranormal movies where they say like you got to watch them in this certain order, or Star Wars, you got to watch them in this sort of order for it to make sense, quote unquote. But I mean, for the most part, if you want to stay ambiguous for where the story goes, like watch them how they released, and you'll figure out your answers along the way.
Yeah. So it's coming out September 29th, right? So it's close to Halloween. We'll probably get a chance to watch it, and we'll be able to give you guys a ranking of the Saw movies, including Saw X. If you guys want to see that, let us know.
October is going to be filled with fucking...
Yeah, we're going to do a Halloween fest.
It's going to be a lot of horror shit.
We'll do that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me, but I'm glad to do it.
It's going to be fun for me. I'm going to love this. This is the best time of year. I'm great.
But,
I'm gravy.
But yeah.
Yeah, but
so
closing it up, though, this will be our last topic for this episode. And if there's something that we missed, a movie that you guys want us to review, if you guys want any kind of rankings of your guys' favorite franchises from yours truly, from both of us, if you guys want to support us in a big way, once more, Josh, where can they let us know?
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. Listen to us on the go anywhere you get your podcasts. That's YouTube, YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth. Subscribe to our Buzzsprout. You support us in a big way that way. Links are in the bios I just gave you, of the socials I just gave you. Special perks to those who do subscribe, like shout outs and things only subscribers get to see. And then when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.